as Zach Whitecloud and company look to overcome roadblocks yet again as injuries and COVID continue to be a story, but we've heard it constantly. It's that next man up mentality. That's what's allowed this group to succeed through the adversity, and it's also allowed players to evolve in ways they otherwise might not have. Zach Whitecloud, perfect example. He's always been sound defensively, but now he's added an offensive layer to his game, up to 5 goals already. He's doing that because he's seeing the ice more. In fact, last game, in the absence of Alex Pietrangelo and Nick Hague, he led the team with 26 minutes and 40 seconds of ice time, and he's versatile. He's played with 5 different partners, and the guys he's playing with are taking notice.
You know, he's great as of now. He's got like more responsibility, and you know, he's doing very well with it. You know, on the defensive side of the puck, he's very solid. He always has been, and came in that way. And now you can see him jumping up in the play more, getting more confidence in the offensive zone, and it's fun to see. It's good to see, and you know, I think he always knew he had that, and now he's getting an opportunity to express it.
You know, go out there, be consistent, and just try to help my team win. And you know, if that comes with playing more minutes, then you know, I'm obviously very happy to do it and excited to do it. And I take great pride in my game. So you know, whatever's asked of me, whatever's required of me, I'm going to go out and do so.
Steve Spott added that when it comes to Zach Whitecloud, don't underestimate the mentorship of Alex Pietrangelo. He said the way Pietrangelo takes these young guys under his wing allows them to mature more both on and off the ice than any way any coach could ever teach. So Pietrangelo might not be in the lineup, but his influence will sure be felt as these young D-men continue to step up, and they'll be looking to do that soon because this one's coming up right around the corner. It's the Vegas Golden Knights and the Los Angeles Kings from Crypto.com Arena, and it's coming up next.
For many, this time of year has been turbulence-free for the Golden Knights. Over the last month, they've been racking up the miles and the victories, and are currently flying high with a franchise record-tying 5-game road winning streak. And tonight, the VGK return from the Christmas break for a quick trip to SoCal as their wheels touch down in LA to battle the Kings next. The Golden Knights and the LA Kings returning from the holiday break inside Crypto.com Arena tonight. The second meeting of the season between the Golden Knights and their Pacific Division rivals. Great to have you with us from Los Angeles tonight as the VGK and the Kings are ready to do battle. Our starting goaltenders brought to you by Adam Kuttner. First time in his Golden Knights career, back-to-back starts for Laurent Brossoit. Had the loss against Tampa Bay just prior to the holiday break. And at the other end of the ice, Jonathan Quick has now started 6 of 7 for the Kings. Their number 1 goaltender, Cal Peterson, he's been out for a while due to COVID. So Jonathan Quick gets the call once again tonight.
Well, let's take a look at our keys of the game brought to you by your Desert Ford dealers. And Steve Spott talked about them this morning to us. Dave said they need to play fast. Feels they're a dangerous team when they can play fast, get in on the forecheck, and they're going to need to manage the puck, play smart here, no turnovers.
Man, underway from LA tonight. And Steve Spott, of course, the acting head coach with Pete DeBoer in COVID protocol. Man, the Golden Knights will push their way to center. Matthias Janmark kind of gained the blue line. So Janmark on the right wing on this line with Chandler Stevenson and Max Pacioretty. No Mark Stone. Had 2 goals against Tampa before the break, but left that game and is not on the trip here to LA, nor is Robin Leonard. As the puck goes back down into the King zone where Jonathan Quick will set it behind his own net. And the Golden Knights get the misfit line out. Andrei Kopitar had to deflect off his leg, and now he's able to regather. Andrei Kopitar just 1 assist away from moving into second place all time in Kings assists. Tied with Wayne Gretzky right now. Both trailing Marcel Dion on the all-time Kings list. Here's Kempe to Kopitar. Works his way to the corner, feeds it out in front. Kempe nor Iafallo could get a handle on it. Here's Drew Doughty out top. He'll feed it down, pass out in front from Kopitar, deflected away. Now Doughty has room on the left side. His shot, that's deflected wide. Riley Smith will feed it out to neutral ice.
Well, there's an example of Golden Knights need to make better plays. They had puck possession on their own end, turned it over, and then that created some chances for the Kings.
The Golden Knights, with a point in this game, would take over sole possession of first place in both the Pacific Division and the Western Conference. The Kings sitting 3 points out of the top 8 in the West. Nick Watt digs it out, and he'll feed it up ahead to Keegan Colasar. Rink wide to Dylan Coughlin into the King zone. He'll backhand it wide of the net. Puck ricochets around the boards and trickles out to neutral ice. In the Golden Knights' only game against the Kings earlier this year, Shea Theodore scored relatively early to give the Golden Knights the 1-0 lead. Then the Kings scored the next 6 goals of the game. Daniel Stevenson got one late, but it was a 6-2 blowout victory for LA, and the big guys got it done. Kopitar with 5 points, Doughty with 4. Dustin Brown had a goal and an assist.
Well, a lot of the players talked about this morning, the coaches too as well. They left a bad taste in their mouth. They wanted to get back tonight and make sure they had a much better effort. Gave up 47 shots in that game against LA.
Yeah, it was a season high. The Kings had 84 shot attempts. There's Brendan Lemieux. He'll dish it in around his own net. Adam Brooks returning tonight. Been a healthy scratch the last 6 games for Vegas. Shea Theodore plays it up the wall. Amadio's pass to Brooks, but it's offside. At the Kings line, 2:40 into a scoreless first period.
Well, there's a look at Steve Spott taking over in the line. Said him and Ryan Craig will manage the forwards. Who's up? And Ryan McGill looks after the defense on the changes. He said he's worked a long time alongside Pete DeBoer. Certainly knows that way. It'll be a different presence, but at the same time, a group effort.
They got started early this morning, right? It's at 6:45 this morning. Talking to Pete DeBoer, Kelly McCrimmon. Of course, the first hurdle was the COVID testing. Now daily testing, but taking over right now with Pete DeBoer and COVID protocol. And said the Kings have both Marco Sturm and Trent Yawney, 2 of their assistants in COVID protocol. Of course, the Las Vegas game, John Cooper was in that boat.
Well, it's really the first step, not only for the Golden Knights, for every team, though. They go through the testing, and then you've got to wait and see, okay, now what players are going to be available to me, and then you can start making your plans from there.
The Kings just recently had Drew Doughty come out of COVID protocol, returning to their lineup. He missed the last 3 games before the break. The Kings went 2-1-1 on a swing out east. It's the same swing the Golden Knights are scheduled to go on the last week of January. Washington, Carolina, and the 2 Florida teams. McNabb into the corner with Adrian Kempe. And now Kopitar in deep. McNabb pokes it around the wall. Mikey Anderson pinching it and keeping it in against Riley Smith. Theodore dishes it. McNabb will settle it down and play it back to Shea Theodore again. Back-to-back multi-point games for Shea Theodore. Entering tonight, 2 goals and 2 assists. Here's Alex Iafallo. He'll wind it in. Puck got by Brossois, but McNabb jams it around to Theodore. Up ahead now to William Karlsson. Couldn't clear it, turned it over. Grunson feeds it down low, and Iafallo was stopped by Brossois point blank. After a turnover by the Golden Knights, but Brossois coming up big early on. Marchessault sends it in. And back to get it is Drew Doughty. Couldn't get it out. Nick Waugh had it roll off his stick. Carl Grundstrom, he'll chip it in deep. And Nick Hague missed that Tampa game a week ago. It was his first game out of the lineup this season. Now here's Will Carrier leading the charge. Carrier walking in, trying to center it, and that went towards the net where Quick had to get a glove on it. Good burst of speed by Will Carrier down that right side.
Well, real good speed. Nice play by Nick Waugh. Just a little chip and chase, but Carrier comes across the ice from the left side to support in his own end, and that creates the chance. Jonathan Quick kind of is right on the goal line. Here's an earlier look. The turnover by Karlsson. It's kept in, and Iafallo all alone in front. Brossois with a good blocker save. I mentioned the success Kopitar's had against the Golden Knights. Iafallo's right there kind of quietly. 17 points against Vegas in his career.
There's Sean Dursey. He'll play it around the wall. Brendan Lemieux looking to move it out. Held in by Michael Amadio. Now Adam Brooks. So the 4th line for the Golden Knights tonight. Jake Leschyshyn, Michael Amadio, and Adam Brooks up front. Jake Leschyshyn made his NHL debut here in LA earlier this year. Blake Lizotte in deep, wrapped up with Amadio. They battle for it along the wall. Leschyshyn in the mix as well. Trying to gain possession. He'll steer it around the net. Amadio looking to center it. And now Brooks keeps it moving. As Michael Amadio spent the first few seasons of his career in the Kings organization. And then went to the Ottawa Senators last season in the deal that sent Christian Wolanin to LA. Here's Brendan Lemieux. And now Arthur Kaliev throws it in. Nick Hague back to get it. Golden Knights playing their league-high 33rd game of the season tonight. Into the zone, Matthias Janmark rolls up. Looking for a little bit of help. Lays it off for Chandler Stevenson. Here's Ben Hutton. Feeds it in the slot. Picked off. Good work defensively by Trevor Moore. Up ahead to Victor Arvidsson. And Arvidsson going to step on Hutton to put it on goal. And a save made by Brozois. I think it was going to be offside. Hard time hearing the whistle, but Arvidsson, he put himself offside as he tried to gain the blue line.
Oh, real good job by Janmark playing with speed. He pulls up, but it's the support by Stevenson. Coming to the puck quick. An example of the Golden Knights one is Stevenson able to roll a little play out to Hutton. He's looking for that shot pass as Whitecloud dropped down towards the front of the net.
And that was a whistle on Arvidsson. So face-off coming up. It's outside the Golden Knights end. Matt Roy will send it in. Brozois moving it off. And Ben Hutton turns it up ice. After tonight, the Golden Knights won't be on the road for a while. About 2.5 weeks. January the 14th, they'll be in Edmonton. They'll start a lengthy homestand. They'll close out 2021 high noon. New Year's Eve afternoon against the Anaheim Ducks on Friday at the Fortress. Ben Hutton swings it up the boards. And now Matthias Janmark. Through center comes Max Pacioretty. Driving wide into the corner on Mikey Anderson. With a shoulder in on Anderson and knocked him down. Feeds it out to the line for Shea Theodore. He'll rotate it down in deep, just out of the reach of Pacioretty. Jack Whitecloud pinching in. Pacioretty's pass intercepted. Mikey Anderson out of Drew Doughty. Of course, it was in that game in LA, the second game of the season. The Golden Knights lost Mark Stone in that game to injury. Max Pacioretty got injured as well. He finished the game, but found that afterwards he'd broken his foot. Both he and Mark Stone were out long term. Now in deep, Theodore. Feathers went up ahead of Riley Smith. Marchessault with Carlson on his left. Pass broken up, though, by Mikey Anderson. Andrei Kopitar on the counterattack for LA. Driving wide on McNabb. Feeds it out in front. And Iafallo couldn't tip it. Now Kempe feeds it. Dursey let it rip. That's blocked. And the puck taken away by McNabb. Carlson across. Theodore leads the Golden Knights on the attack. Right down the middle of the ice. And ran into Toby Bjornfoot. Both went down on the heap.
Well, I think Bjornfoot, as Theodore was trying to make a little move to the outside.
Bjornfoot will feed it out. Here is Zach Whitecloud. 26 minutes and 40 seconds for Zach in the Tampa game before the break. A career high for him. The first time he's led the Golden Knights in ice time in his career. Puck to the near side wall, and Carl Grundstrom. He'll feed it high to center, just out of the reach of Elias Anderson. Nick Waugh the other way for Vegas. Up ahead on a Carrier, but the pass was in his skates. And Jared Anderson Dolan up ahead. Grundstrom sends it all the way down, and they'll waive the icing. They get a penalty here, though. Anderson grabbed a hold of Hutton. So Elias Anderson will go to the box, and the Golden Knights to the game's first power play. Just over 8 minutes gone in the first in LA. No score. Hockey on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by RC Willey, your home, your way. And by Universal Solar Direct, pay less for your electric. From downtown Los Angeles tonight, the Golden Knights and the Kings. No score, and the Golden Knights about to go on the game's first power play. Elias Anderson in the box with a hold on Ben Hutton. And the Golden Knights power play, which has had a terrific month of December, they'll go to work for the first time.
Well, it really has. The power play going now in 6 of their last 7 games. They're 1 for 2 before the Christmas break against Tampa.
This power play brought to you by Adam Kuttner. And Mark Stone had the power play goal against the Lightning. Max Pacioretty leads the Golden Knights with 3 on the man advantage this year. Here's Alex Iafallo darting in against Shea Theodore. Kings had a short-handed goal in their last game from Blake Lizotte, and that started a comeback for them in Washington. They were down 2-0 late in the second. Blake Lizotte scored short-handed, and that spurred the Kings on to an eventual come-from-behind 3-2 win against the Caps. Pacioretty feeds it off into the middle. Smith back to Pacioretty. Couple of steps down the wall, and he'll feed it now for Theodore. And around the horn for Carlson. Walks in, his shot blocked by Doughty, and the puck cleared all the way down. Steve Spahn was telling us yesterday, feels there's been much more of a shot mentality on the power play as of late.
Well, there's a little more confidence, too. When you come over the boards, you feel you can score.
Stevenson dangling his way in. Picked up by Lizotte. Loose puck to Jared Anderson-Dolan. He'll lead the Kings up ice shorthanded. Watched by Nick Hague. And now Dylan Coghlan deep in his own territory. Played 9.5 minutes in the opening period. And Stevenson dishing it off. Here's Waugh for Coghlan. And around for Hague. A big one-timer. Saved made by Quick. And the rebound down low, and he'll cover it. Janmark and Waugh were looking for the rebound.
All good zone entry, a quick little play, and you set up Nick Hague, who has that big shot. He's playing over on that other side. Said some guys out of line, other guys get opportunity. Hague, one of those guys. Janmark parked in front, but the speed of Stevenson draws two players, pushes it out, quick pass, and far Quick is out of the net as he eventually able to cover that loose puck.
Jonathan Quick has had his struggles against the Golden Knights in his career. Off this face-off, Theodore moves it around. Jonathan Marchessault looking, wrist shot, tip, score! Riley Smith on the deflection, tips it home. He ends a 10-game drought, and the Golden Knights, with yet another power play goal, grab a 1-0 lead.
Well, it's a bit of a scrum face-off. You want to get a clean one, but it's a good job by Pacioretty. Little stick check. That keeps the puck alive. Support from Marchessault, and he just rolls over, and Smith left wide open in front. Mike Anderson just doesn't get back to position, and a great little feed. Marchessault, and the deflection by Riley Smith. And Smith will pick up his 11th. As Dave mentioned, that ends a 10-game goalless drought, and the Golden Knights grab the 1-0 lead.
And the Golden Knights now with 11 power play goals this month. They have been fantastic on the man advantage. And Riley Smith, who had a game-high 7 shots in the Tampa game, was all over it, did everything but score against the Lightning. Has the first goal tonight. Here's Carrier trying to spin away from Bjornfoot. Hutton lets it rip, and he scores! And Ben Hutton with a long blast. Let it fly from the left point. That's his first as a Golden Knight, and it's 2-0 Vegas.
Oh, Hutton let the shot go. I'm not sure if that hit something or not, but a quick play. Nice little bank pass back to the point, but it all starts off the forecheck. Pressure, little play behind the net, and a great play by Carrier. Perfect bank shot, get it to the net. And Kolesar's off to the side. I'm not sure if he got a stick on it. It's a quick play. That may be Keegan Kolesar, who got a stick on it with his second of the year right there.
Well, the Golden Knights scored twice in 26 seconds. And we'll see who gets it. If it's Kolesar, it's been a while for him. It would be his first in 15 games. And now here's Kempe the other way, and he scores. Just like that, the Kings come right back. Adrian Kempe picked that up off the end boards. He was all alone in front, and the Kings have made it a 1-goal game.
Well, the Golden Knights needed a big shift to follow up, and it's the Kings who have the big shift. It's a quick play up the ice and a smart play. That is a long pass. It misses Kempe, but it banks right out perfectly off the corner wall as Kempe gets behind everybody, and the quick shot upstairs. He's off to a terrific start with his 13th this season. He had 14 last year in 56 games, already at 13 as he gets the Kings on the board.
And that's 3 goals in 39 seconds.
Well, and it looks like these teams hadn't played a game in a while. It was a little choppy. The first passes are off, and then all of a sudden, boom, 3 quick goals.
And here's Adrian Kempe out in front. Kopitar dishing it. Downey with a wrist shot on a save. Rozois. Oh, the Kings with a great chance to tie it. Drew Doughty. Now Marchessault at center ice. He'll feed it up ahead. William Karlsson with a lane to the net. Off the goal post. Puck out in front to Marchessault, and he scores. What a wild first period in L.A. Jonathan Marchessault buries it for number 15 to make it 3-1.
Well, it's that type of game coaches like, but it sure is entertaining. Wide open chances at both ends, and 4 quick goals as Jonathan Marchessault scores. Karlsson off the post, and everybody disappears. They turn away from the puck except Marchessault left in all alone, and he's going to take his time. Great patience, goes to the backhand, and Jonathan Marshall with his 15th is the Golden Knights back up 2. You can do the math, Dave, how quick all 4 goals are.
I have it, and this is always a shaky proposition. 4 goals in a minute 16. Starting with Riley Smith. We'll see if it's either Ben Hutton or Keegan Colasar for the second Vegas goal. Adrian Kempe made it 2-1. Jonathan Marchessault comes right back to make it 3-1. Jonathan Marchessault turned 31 years old yesterday. And he has the Golden Knights up by 2 here in the first. Jake Lecision shovels it out. Michael Amadio and Adam Brooks playing a break. Amadio walks into the circle. His shot turned away by Quick. Amadio feeds it back to the line, but out of the reach of Shea Theodore. And Brossoit will set it. Now the save Brossoit made on Drew Doughty right before the Marchessault goal. Doughty had a great opportunity to tie the game at 2 apiece. Brossoit turned it away, and the Golden Knights not long thereafter went down the other end, and we're back up by 2. Here's Arvidsson walking in. Gets it back, shot, and missed the net on the short side. Lemieux looking to feed it to the line. Bjornfoot keeps it in. Theodore, Carrier get a high stick on that, but they'll play on as Jersey will pick it up for LA. Arvidsson into the offensive zone. Here's Moore, puts it off the outside of the net. Puck loose along the left point. Mikey Anderson, he'll steer it in deep. Trevor Moore, not a Kopitar, couldn't convert it. Ran into Hutton, and up ice comes Max Pacioretty with the end mark and Stevenson. Pacioretty out high, still has it, and his shot missed the net. Whitecloud keeps it in. Janmark trying to shake loose from Doughty. Feeds it towards the net, hit the back of the net. Janmark stays with it. Whitecloud along wrist shot. Quick and a pad on that. Hutton keeps it in. Pacioretty. And now Whitecloud. Will zip it across to Hutton. And Hutton at the point. Safely runs it in behind the LA net. And Max Pacioretty with it. Max coming into tonight, 10 goals this month. Tied with Austin Matthews for the league lead. His 16 points lead everybody in the month of December.
Oh, and as of now, that second goal goes to Keegan Colasar.
So Keegan Colasar with the deflection, his second and his first in 15 games. Christian Wolanin. And now Alex Turcotte making his NHL debut tonight. The 20-year-old, 5th overall pick in the 2019 draft. Turcotte along the boards. Battling with McNabb. Iafallo sends it across. Here's Wolanin. He'll wrist it towards the net. Blocked down by Theodore. Couldn't clear. Wolanin gloves it down. Now McNabb. He'll shovel it back for Theodore. Under 6 minutes to go in the opening period. Golden Knights up 3-1. Looking to make it 6 straight wins on the road. If they can do it, it'll be a new team record. Bjornfoot flips it high to center, knocked down by Coughlin. And now Lecision. Jake Lecision had a month-long run with the Golden Knights earlier this year. They were battling a slew of injuries. Now Jersey sends it around. And Bjornfoot will lead the Kings through center ice. Softly flips it in. Hagen Grundstrom in deep. And now Coughlin for Lecision. And Amadio shovels it down the wing. Mikey Anderson back together under a little bit of pressure from Adam Brooks. Alex Iafallo across ice. Kempe trying to fend off McNabb, who takes it away. And now here's Theodore. And the puck sent all the way to the Kings zone, and an icing will stop play. Inside 5 minutes to go in the first. And now this from Knock the Injury Law.
Focus on the facts when picking a lawyer. Call Knock-Fee at 702-INJURED.
Golden Knights up by 2 in LA. And what has been, especially as the period's moved on, a pretty fast pace.
Yeah, it's one of those, periods you can watch it earlier and said it's, a little bit of sloppy. You can tell the teams haven't played in a while, that little extended time off, but start to settle in a little more as the game goes along. But certainly entertaining there for that short span. A lot of goals, a lot of chances.
These teams were supposed to meet the 23rd of December at T-Mobile. Of course, that was postponed. The Golden Knights had the game supposed to be yesterday against Colorado postponed. Kings had 3 postponements. Most recently, this last night, they were scheduled to be in Arizona. McNabb will feed it across now. White Cloud up ahead. Went by Stevenson. Will land the other way. Jumped off the stick of Brendan Lemieux and an offside on the Kings. 4:13 to go in the first in LA. The Golden Knights are up 3-1.
For whatever reason, Jonathan Quick has had his struggles against the Golden Knights in his career. That said, that hasn't had much help. Riley Smith takes the feed in front on the power play, left all alone. Keegan Colasar off to the side, all alone, deflects the Ben Hutton shot from the point, and then all 4 Kings turn away from the puck, and Jonathan Marchessault all alone as he waits out Quick and meets him with the backhand.
And Jonathan Quick 4-7-1 in his career against the Golden Knights. Vegas scored 3 goals on 3 consecutive shots from Smith, Colasar, and Marchessault. Then the 4 goals total when you throw in the Kempe goal, though, they were on 5 shots total in that span of just a minute 16. Just a quick flurry and burst of offense. Now the Golden Knights up 3-1. And McNabb will swing it around now for Shea Theodore. And he'll zip it up ahead. It jumped off the stick of Nick Waugh. Quick moving it off now to O'Lannon. And Matt Roy has it. Lead pass on the money to Blake Lizotte. And now Kaliev, he's wiped out by McNabb right in front of the Vegas bench.
A big hit by McNabb. And that's a young player. You got to understand the defenseman you're going up against. How many times you've seen McNabb?
Now here's Whitecloud with a wrist shot, and he put it over the net. And Whitecloud will feed it towards the cage. Quick covers it. Right now, Kaliev trying to shake off that hit on the LA bench from Braden McNabb.
Well, I was going to finish my point, but good chance for Whitecloud. There's a look as Kaliev just dumps the puck, but don't think the play is over. McNabb, good timing. He's already moving. Well, and chips it in, and it's already in progress, that hit, as McNabb's so good at timing that play along the wall. Certainly keeps those wingers honest, and Kaliev will remember that going forward.
Kaliev was maybe a little upset with himself, too. Got up, went to the bench, slammed the bench door. Here's Smith, dishing it off, all in front. Karlsson, a chance, and Quick made the save. Karlsson was all alone on a Quick forming play down low, and what a save by Quick.
Well, this is what this line does so well. Quick passes in tight areas to open up offensive chances. Little pass inside. Look at the pass, Jonathan Marchessault, and then as Karlsson goes, looks like it may have been a slash from Kempe right at the end. That might have saved the goal. There's the slash on the stick of Karlsson. I think that forced him to shoot it right back into Quick.
What an opportunity for William Karlsson, looking for his 100th goal as a member of the Golden Knights. Smith works it up the wing. He'll feed it out high. Braden McNabb with a wrist shot. Blocked down in front by Kopitar. Jonathan Marchessault picks it up. 3 minutes to go in the first. It's 3-1 Vegas. Adrian Kempe has it now, dishing it off to Christian Wolanin. And now Iafallo and Kopitar down the wing. Pulls up, shovels it back to Matt Roy. Long wrist shot, save Rozois. And we're going to whistle here. That puck was loose, but they blew the play dead. With Vegas up 2 in LA.
This season, here's why. Over the last 4 seasons, he's hovered right around 10% as far as his shooting percentage. This season, 16.5. Talked to Steve Spott about it a little bit. He said it's something that he works at endlessly. He said he's always staying after practice, shooting at different places in the net, shooting from different places. And he also said he's a shooter. Sometimes shooters are just feeling it, and he's definitely feeling it right now, guys.
Yeah, he's not shy about letting it fly, to say the least. Here's Jonathan Marchessault, and why not? Leads the Golden Knights with 15 goals on the year now. Puck loose inside the King zone, flipped to center ice by Jared Anderson-Dolan. They've got Jared Anderson-Dolan, Elias Anderson, and Mikey Anderson for the Kings. Good luck. Kaliev plays it out. Anderson-Dolan on the right side. He was able to sidestep Haig. Trying to line him up. Puck loose in behind the Vegas net for Nick Hague. Bumped off the play by Kaliev. Tried to snap it in front. Janmark blocked it. And now Coughlin plays it up for Chandler Stevenson. 2 minutes to go in the first. Janmark spun off the play by Drew Doughty. Well, Drew Doughty has missed significant time this year. Missed 16 games with that knee injury. He was supposed to miss 8 weeks. He came back in just over 4. He said missed 3. COVID protocol just prior to the holiday break. Here's Mikey Anderson. Feeds it up ahead, and Alex Turcotte tips it in. Hutton back to get it. And Hutton has spent the 2019-2020 season in LA. Golisar down the wing. Well, this will be an icing as he tried to bank that down to Carrier, and a face-off back in the Vegas end.
Well, Jonathan Marchessault, so no accident. He has that shooting percentage Ashley talked about. Well, look at what he does every morning skate. He has a routine of different areas where he shoots the puck, along with assistant coach Misha Donskov, set up plays, and he just works on it constantly every morning before games, after practice, and it's paid off. He's off to a terrific start this season, already at 15 goals.
And Jonathan Marchessault has had a real consistent year, has not gone back-to-back games without a point since late October. Kempe with a wrist shot, tipped wide by Iafallo. And now Carrier. Shots are 12-6 for Vegas. Waugh gloving it down. Nick Waugh on one team, Matt Roy on the other. Waugh taken out by Mikey Anderson. Carrier, watch closely by Kempe. Now McNabb to Theodore, lets it fly, and that caught the post. On the stick side of Jonathan Quick. Golisar rotates it down. Waugh keeps it moving. Carrier in the battle in deep. Kempe was able to move it by him, and the puck back to the Vegas line, and Nick Waugh in the final 35 seconds of the period now. Theodore, a couple of steps to center, wires it in. Moore feeds it around. Dursey lets it go, but Theodore out top, plays it diagonally to that open side. Dursey will snap it up, and that went up into the protected netting. It's going to be a delay of game. The rookie Sean Dursey in his 13th NHL game tried to clear that, but put it over the glass for a penalty.
I'm not sure the puck rolled on him, but Dursey clear up right in front of the referee. So late power play for Vegas. Well, there's the call.
Delay a game.
There's a look, the puck coming around and goes to fire. Almost hit the ref. Had to dodge that as the Golden Knights go to the power play. Just 20 seconds left in period number 1.
Vegas 11 for 32 on the power play this month. 1 for 1 tonight. Power play goal from Riley Smith earlier in this period. Off this draw. Puck loose on the wing for Carlson. Theodore looking, long wrist shot, tipped high and out of play. And a whistle with just over 10 seconds to go in the period.
Well, there's a look at Riley Smith's played so well. So he's on that great run. He's one of those guys, when he gets hot, it seems like they come in bunches for him, and able to get that opening goal for Vegas here on the power play.
Said he was all around it in the game against Tampa. The game high 7 shots. Here's Pacioretty. He lets it fly, and a save quick. Got a good look at that. As Pacioretty fired it on net. Good to see Max Pacioretty in the lineup for the Golden Knights. Did not skate with the team the last couple of days. Skated on his own prior to practice and had a good chance here.
Yeah, he certainly did. It all starts with a face-off win. Carlson able to win both of them. That sets up the chance of one-timer from Pacioretty.
No goals in the last 4 games for Pacioretty. His longest drought of the season after going on that amazing run earlier in the month. That'll do it for the first period that featured 4 goals in a minute 16. Started off by Riley Smith, and the Golden Knights take a 2-goal lead into the locker room.
Well, certainly a good lead for the Golden Knights. Now it's a matter of just sticking to their game, getting to their structure. Looked like they were getting closer and closer as the period went along, but a good start for Vegas here, up 3-1.
Smith, Golisar, Kempe, and Marchessault with the goals in the first period in LA tonight. As we head back to Studio 31, here's Darren.
Vegas one off its high for most goals in a period. 3 goals to go along with a couple of posts. Could have been more, but they'll take the 3-1 lead. Coming up in the first intermission, Darren Elliott on when the period shifted in the Golden Knights' favor. And Ashley Weiss with a conversation with Jonathan Marchessault. 3-1 Vegas after 1 on AT&T Sportsnet. Good stuff. Smith, Keegan Colasar, and Jonathan Marchessault. Almost happened that fast, as I just said it, during that first period. Vegas Golden Knights scoring 3 of the 4 goals in a wild period coming off the holiday break. Back in Studio 31 in Las Vegas, Darren Millard along with Darren Elliott. That had the makings and the smell of some holiday hockey and the entertainment value.
Well, great for the fans. It was holiday hockey. I mean, there were some gift-wrapped turnovers that got both teams going up and down the ice. First 3 minutes, nothing happened, and then the offense was just there. And I think the power play goal got Vegas going, and then they kept it going for that short burst.
Impressive period for the Misfits.
Yeah, they were good.
William Karlsson denied by Jonathan Quick, or all 3 would have scored. Jonathan Marchessault standing by with Ashley Weiss.
All right, Jonathan, 4 goals in a minute and 16 seconds. Your team had 3 of them, but can you take me down to the bench and what those conversations were like during that spurt?
Just a little better in the neutral zone. I think we had too much turnovers, and I think they were dominating us down in our D zone a little bit more the first 5 minutes, but we started playing more our game, a little bit more forecheck, and it got better with the period.
Well, it all started with the power play goal from Riley Smith. He had been looking for one for a while. Whenever it's a guy like that who does all the little things right, what's it mean to see that look of relief on his face as it pays off for him?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I mean, he's been an unreal player for the organization for a long time, and to see him get rewarded there, it's great. And I mean, he's having a great season, and he is pushing always in the right direction, and he's playing he's an unselfish player, and he plays the right way every night, so it's fun for him to get rewarded there.
Well, a 2-goal lead, anything that you want to change in these next 40 minutes?
We just cannot, we got to manage the blue lines. We got to be better, I think, in the neutral zone with and without the puck, and I think if we do that, we'll be better.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Big compliments from Jonathan Marchessault for Riley Smith, who scores on that forehand tip.
Yeah, and that's not easy. But again, he was wide open. It's a breakdown, and there were breakdowns. This one was on Mikey Anderson, 44. Look at how Riley Smith just had sifted to the back door. Nobody detects him. Oops. No chance for Jonathan Quick. Very nicely handled. Marchessault finds him. Beautiful play to handle that by Smith. And Marchessault had him the entire way. They've played with one another for a long, long time, and it shows up in a play like that.
So he's set up that way for either the shot or the deflection?
Correct. Yeah, it can deflect it, or it can hold it and send it back to the bumper.
It was a lot easier to dissect Jonathan Marchessault's goal. I know that one.
Yeah, when you take a look at March, and the guys did a great job, along with Ashley, talking about how he has found new ways to shoot and have a better shooting percentage. I think it's his play away from the puck, and this is a perfect example. He's not getting to the spot too quickly. That one hits the post. He's trailing, so his shooting percentage goes up because he's having better looks, because I think lots of times he was such a shooter, he would race to a spot, shoot, shoot, shoot. Now it's like, okay, let me kind of read the play a little bit better, and you're getting better looks as a result.
Is that because he's getting older, more experience, or is that advice from the coaching staff? I
think both. I mean, they break it down. It's like, okay, you got yourself into this position. If you score, good for you. But if you miss it, guess what? Everybody, including you, are no longer a scoring option because you're too deep or you're too wide. Those kinds of things are what they work on. And then it's like, okay, when you get to this spot, here's the kind of shot we're looking for. It's off your back foot. It's off your front foot. It's all kinds of different release points and spots on the ice. It's work, and he's really perfecting his shooting craft.
4 goals in a minute 16 in that period between the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings. And believe it or not, one of the key plays, it was a save in that span. Amazingly, we'll show it to you next. Getting back to it before Christmas, Golden Knights really having it go their way on the road, trying to make it 6 straight victories away from T-Mobile Arena. Darren Millard back with Darren Elliott. I've heard of Game in a Minute, those recaps that all of us do on AT&T Sports. Yeah. Game in 1:16 is a little different, though.
Yeah, the game's not over, but boy, oh boy, did they get up and down the ice and get after it in the first period. On the power play, we saw this goal. Dr. Jonathan Marchessault, nice deflection by Riley Smith. Power play gets them going, and that's been a theme on the road in the 5 straight wins. Bank pass, fourth line, shift over shift momentum. They get it back to the point. Keegan Colasar, waist-high deflection. Oh, no! Kempe's supposed to handle it at the blue line. It goes to the past the goal line. He's still first there. He scores. Now it's going to be 2-2. What a play. That's the same shift. That's right after the faceoff. Great save by Brossoit. That allows the Knights to go the other way and make it 3-1 in a minute and 16. And really, that's a steadying save. There were some good ones in there by Laurent Brossoit. None bigger than that one on Kopitar. You could see that was 2-1. It's back and forth, breakneck speed. Easily could have gone in. Makes a save. His team scores, makes it 3-1. So I would expect, especially the Vegas Golden Knights, to get to their game a little bit defensively, get to their structure. But you never know. It's holiday hockey.
What are the odds we don't get any goals in the second period?
Not very good. Not very good.
I always thought that game in a minute was just a marketing term. I didn't think it was real. But 80 games in total have been canceled. And you look at that, 9 additional games because of the Canadian attendance restrictions. Second period's coming up next.
Tonight's hockey on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Universal Windows Direct, where you love your new windows. And by CarShield. CarShield, cars go farther. From downtown Los Angeles tonight, people taking a twirl around the rink. I thought about doing that earlier today and then thought better of it. The Golden Knights are up 3-1 on the Kings here. After the first period, Shane, a period that featured 4 goals in a minute 16, and after, maybe the first half of the period, there weren't a lot of chances. Boy, they came in rapid fire after that.
Well, they did. I thought the Golden Knights were really strong down low, some plays from low to high, and pressure on the puck. That's how it resulted in one of the goals, but got better as the period went along. Here's a real good example. Down low, pressure on the puck. They continue to forecheck hard, keep it in at the point. Coughlin holds the blue line. That maintains pressure and possession for Vegas. Here's a look at the goal. Down low, good little play by Carrier. Rolls off to the point, get to the front. Colasar right off to the side, ever to get a stick on it. And then Pacioretty loves when he does this. Puts the puck in a position where he can protect it, gets it out to the point. That sets out a play there. And Will Carey, he is so good when he gets low, fends off the check at Kempe, gets it back to the point. And then that sets up a one-timer, went off the post as Theodore let that one drive from the right point.
Now we'll take a look at our stats. Through the first period, shots were 13-6 in favor of the Golden Knights, as the Golden Knights were able to capitalize on their first power play. They scored 11 power play goals this month, tied for the most in the league with the Leafs, and as you see, they're in the midst of their second power play. They still have a pretty good amount of time on it to begin period number 2. The 3 goals in the first period. Second time this year that the Golden Knights have done that, and both on the road. The other one wasn't long ago, about a couple of weeks ago. They scored 3 in the first period in Boston. Keegan Colasar, his first in 15 games tonight, adding to that 3-1 lead in the opening period. And now period number 2 is underway. And the puck cleared all the way down by Drew Doughty. Should be allowed to ice it while you're shorthanded.
I think the linesman pointed to himself right away. You can see Jay Theodore smiling. You can hear the Kings bench. Everybody's having a chuckle at that one. Definitely not icing when you're shorthanded.
I think unless there was a rule change. So look at Todd McClellan, Shane. He was talking yesterday about his team. He said we've got roughly about half the team looks like they're going to be ready to play tomorrow night. We get 24 hours to work on the other half. Going to be thrilled with how the first period went for his team. They've been on a pretty good run. The Kings have not lost back-to-back games in regulation in over a month. Here's Pacioretty looking down low. The pass blocked and cleared by Kopitar. LA at 4-1-1 in the last 6 games. Shea Theodore wires it in deep. Mikey Anderson back on it. Able to feed it off. Alex Iafallo just got it through Shea Theodore. Now here's Riley Smith. Into the offensive zone, William Karlsson. The Misfits combined for 5 points in the opening period. Pacioretty trying to feed it back into the middle, but that's deflected out of the zone, and the Golden Knights will reload on the power play. Shea Theodore starting it out. Drops it back. Matthias Janmark stick handling his way through, dishing it off to Nick Hague. Janmark and Matt Roy in the corner. Moore there too, so is Hague. Good work by Waugh. Feeds it out in front, and Stevenson scores. Nick Waugh with a play from behind the net. Chandler Stevenson buries it. The Golden Knights 2 for 2 on the power play, and they're up 4-1.
What a play by Nick Waugh. Great pressure, driving it deep into the zone. A little battle in the corner. Kings get possession, but it's a great read by Waugh. See the Kings win the battle behind the net. Roy tries to give it, and Wolanin gets a little stick check from Waugh, and he finds Stevenson all alone in front. But it's been a game for guys who have kind of been on a bit of a goal drought to score, as Stevenson hadn't scored in his previous 8, but he gets his 10th of the year on the power play, and the Golden Knights up 4-1.
It's a new career high as well. Nick Waugh up to 16 points on the season. And the Golden Knights 2 for 2 on the power play tonight. 12 for 33 on the man advantage in the month of December. Those dozen power play goals lead the NHL. Puck sent out in front, batted away to the wall. Held in now by Elias Anderson. He'll feed it back to the line. Dursey looks. His shot deflected wide by Will Carrier. Bjornfoot had a jump off over his stick. Kolasar racing up ice. He'll curl to the corner, trying to sidestep Dursey. Elias Anderson back to get it. And the Kings with possession, and Jared Anderson-Dolan coming through center ice. Feeds it off to his left. Mikey Anderson with a long wrist shot on a glove save by Laurent Brossoit. He'll hold it for a whistle.
Oh, here's a look at Kaliev as he took that big hit from McNabb in the first period. He was able to shake it off, as he'll recognize now coming down that right wing side. Number 3 of Vegas is on the ice to make sure you got your head up.
Face off in the Vegas zone. Kings control it. Wolanin dishing it off. Wrist shot from Kaliev, and Brossoit got a good look at it. And he'll hold for the face-off. Golden Knights up 3 in LA. We'll take a look at our reliable coverage. It's brought to you by Car Shield. Well, the Golden Knights, and they've talked about it, this has been what a turnaround. Steve Spott, that the power play is his area. Takes a lot of pride in it. They've had the most power play goals in the league now in the month of December.
Well, I'm happy to hear, it's had such a slow start. You always hear about the negative. Now you can talk about the positive, been able to go, and you can see the confidence the players have now when they come out for the power play. Now they're starting to feel it a little bit more.
And the Golden Knights now with the 4 goals in this game, up to 115 on the year. They're the highest scoring team in the NHL. Pacioretty got wedged out of the play by Dowdy, but here's Stevenson to Pacioretty, and in front Janmark couldn't convert it. Whitecloud with a long wrist shot, tip, score! Janmark converted that on the deflection of the Whitecloud shot, and the Golden Knights have put up a handful less than 23 minutes into the game.
Oh, and it's another player. It's been a while since he found the back of the net. Janmark had a great chance just earlier, but great job by the Golden Knights. It's a play that starts Stevenson, Pacioretty. Janmark misses there, but puck recovery, get it to the point. And once again, all alone in front is Janmark. Turcotte lost his stick, and as he goes for it, that leaves Janmark all alone. And that'll be it for Jonathan Quick. And you think of the night he had, a lot of those goals, he was left all by himself. Janmark's 3rd of the year. It's 5-1 here early in the second. A couple of quick goals from the Golden Knights.
Yeah, some breakdowns in front of Jonathan Quick, just players wide open. So he's lifted after allowing 5 goals on 15 shots, and entered Garrett Sparks, who got the start in the win in the Kings' last game before the holiday break at 33 saves in his season debut with LA. And their come from behind win against the Washington Capitals. It was his first win in the NHL since April of 2019. Shea Theodore wires it in deep. So the Golden Knights with a 5-1 lead. Up ice, Kempe with a wrist shot on a save. Brossoit. Good look for Adrian Kempe, who has the LA goal earlier tonight. Carlson up ahead, pass a little bit too far in front of Marchessault. And Kopitar will start it out. Well, the Golden Knights, they were on the wrong end of a 6-2 loss here. The Kings season opener on the 14th of October. The Golden Knights did talk this morning about that did not sit well with them. They've had to wait a while to see the Kings again. They're up 5-1 already in this game. Jersey with a wrist shot blocked, and Carrier picks it up. Up ahead now, Colasar deflecting it in. He and Jersey to the corner, runs it up the boards, and the Kings on the move. Lemieux with Lizotte. Coughlin chips it up the boards. Lemieux keeps it in. Brendan Lemieux, who just recently returned from a 5-game suspension for biting Brady Tkachuk of the Ottawa Senators. And he just drew this penalty, though, and the Golden Knights are going to be shorthanded.
I think it's going to be a hook here to Nick Waugh. They got that stick up on Brendan Lemieux as he was battling kind of with Waugh and Colasar just inside the Knights' blue line. Here's a look at the play as Lemieux spins off the check. And there's the hook by Waugh as he comes around, gets the hands right into the stick into the hands of Lemieux. So the first power play of the game for the Kings.
Now the Golden Knights up 5-1, but down a man for the first time in the game as Riley Smith will send it all the way down the ice.
As good as the power play has been for the Golden Knights, the penalty kills been another story. They've got to have a power play goal in 7 of the last 8 games.
And they've allowed 10 power play goals. The Golden Knights have in the last 23 shorthanded chances. Offside on the Kings will stop play. And, you know, just to further your point, Shane, you look at what the Golden Knights have been able to do. It's been, what is it, feast or famine. Power play has been terrific with the penalty kill, which was #1 in the league last year, but lately has been headed in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you know, some of it is, you know, just structure, quicker, a little slow on plays, personnel, and then some of them just bad bounces haven't gone their way, but power play has been able to shield a lot of those errors, and that's the positive. The good thing is now they just continue to get better here as they work on the penalty kill.
Man, the Kings have had their problems on the power play. 1 for 20 over the last 7 games. Iafallo shovels it to the corner. White Cloud there to move it to Janmark. Into the middle, Stevenson, and he'll flip it all the way down, and Garrett Sparks will leave it. Garrett Sparks, one of 9 goaltenders to suit up as a member of the Golden Knights. A relief appearance for the VGK back in October of 2019. Puck in behind the Vegas net. Colasar trying to work it loose. Kopitar takes it, and he'll feed it out of Drew Doughty. Down the wall to Kopitar. Now Doughty, a long shot blocked wide, and Gossois able to play that off the end board, scooped it up. Elias Anderson a little shaken up for the Kings in the slot, yet to get to his feet.
All right, having a tough time getting up. Oh, it's a play from the point. Doughty lets it go, and a good job by Brossois with his glove as he catches it off the back wall. As Anderson collides with his own player right in front. That's why he was slow to get up.
Golden Knights have the gold metallic helmets. The Kings followed suit. They got the metallic silver buckets.
Well, the Anderson Silver Knights have them.
That's right. HSK. Maybe the Kings looked at what the HSK were doing. Why wouldn't you? Puck loose into the corner. Turcotte and a White Cloud. And Smith couldn't quite get it out. Well, Lannon feeds it off just out of the reach of Grunstrom. Loose puck to Carlson, and he'll spin and sail it all the way down the ice. We're down to the final 10 seconds of the Kings power play. Jersey winding it up. And now Grunstrom fires it in deep. Anderson Dolan, a White Cloud, McNabb, Waugh out of the box. He'll field it and move it up ahead for Janmark. Golden Knights at full strength. Working with a 4-goal lead. Stevenson slams the brakes on. Pacioretty put it off the post. And out of play. Pacioretty was not pleased as he rang it off the iron. That's the second post tonight for the Golden Knights. And they've also scored 5 goals The most recent chance from Max Pacioretty, crossbar and out.
With everyone stepping up for the Golden Knights, but that next man up mentality we talk about, guys, it doesn't just apply to the players, it applies to the broadcasters as well. Brian McCormack getting the call up from the Henderson Silver Knights. Got the call less than 3 hours before our plane took off yesterday, guys. Was able to turn up a negative COVID test, and here he is calling his first ever regular season NHL game. Can't think of anyone more deserving. One of the hardest workers in this organization, guys.
Yeah, he's before the game, Ashley was saying the time can't tick off the clock fast enough. Let's just get the game going. But his first NHL game tonight, 3 years in Boise in the East Coast League for Brian, a couple of years in San Antonio, and now his second year in Henderson and filling in for our Dan Duva in COVID protocol. Dan says he feels fine, and hopefully he'll be back soon. And our Gary Lawless not on the trip. Negative in terms of COVID, but had close contact, so out of caution. He stayed back in Vegas. And Brian working solo, and so much for easing him into it. 5 goals for Vegas already in this game.
No, you're probably jealous.
Roy out top with a wrist shot, save made Rozois. And Zach Whitecloud on the loose puck. He'll feed it into the King zone. Drew Doughty back to get it, they'll wave the icing. These teams will do it again in middle of March in Vegas. Of course, they also have a game to make up. They were supposed to play right before Christmas. Kempe along the wall, feeds it to Kopitar down low. He'll dart in behind the net. The Kings captain makes his way up the wall and cycles it down a little further. McNabb pokes it to Smith. And here is Jonathan Marchessault through center. He'll fire it in. 8 minutes played in the second. And the Golden Knights with a 5-1 lead. The 24th game in a row. The Golden Knights have scored at least 3. Iafallo. McNabb got in on him, and I believe a hold. And it is. So McNabb to the box. And the Kings right back to the power play.
Well, Iafallo trying to drive wide. McNabb looked like he got the stick in, but may have been a hold on the play. That's the call on the ice.
Number 3, 2-minute minor holding.
We'll take a look. There's Iafallo driving wide. You see McNabb. That left arm comes in. So good with his stick earlier. Makes that play. McNabb has that to just get his stick long reach. Poke pucks away. That one, though, the left arm comes off the bottom hand and on Iafallo. So power play for the Kings.
Here's Doughty out top. He'll drop it off for Kopitar. Wrist shot. That's deflected wide off the glass. In the prior meeting with the Golden Knights in October, the Kings went 2 for 2 in the power play that night. Whitecloud fires it off the glass. And now Doughty back to get it. Up ahead for Kopitar. A little drop pass for Adrian Kempe. Victor Arvidsson on the wing. Now Kempe in deep. Walks right out in front and put it right through the crease. Puck around the boards where Kopitar steps up against Haig. And now Doughty of the blue line. Zips it across for Kempe. He'll feed it to Arvidsson. Arvidsson looking. Drops it back to Doughty. Now Kempe, his shot. That's deflected wide. Kicks it in the middle of the ice. And Stevenson up ahead for Janmark. And Janmark shorthanded. Driving wide on Doughty. Put it on goal, and Sparks able to hold the short side. Kings will start it back out. Doughty at center. Dropping it off for Dursey. Now Grunstrom on the wing in the final 45 seconds of the LA man advantage. Well, Lannon moving it down the wall. A heavy collision along that far side. That was Whitecloud and Elias Anderson. Anderson got shaken up earlier in the period, and he's down again.
It looked like Whitecloud got tripped up. He made a great read defensively. I'm not sure. Watch as he goes down. There's the play. There's the trip. And looks like certainly a trip, and looks like Anderson may have banged his head when he fell. Said he had that collision with his teammate a little earlier. And he will.
Going to go to the box. Anderson's going to get a penalty.
Yeah, well, certainly there's the stick between the legs, the old can opener. He lets go of the stick, and you can see as he falls. May have caught, it looked like White Cloud's skate. You can see the reaction of Zach White Cloud. He's seeing if he's okay.
And it is a trip to Elias Anderson, so it wasn't, 37 seconds left on the penalty to Braden McNabb. And the teams will play four-a-side right now. Golden Knights with Stevenson and Waugh, joined by Hutton and Coughlin. Matt Roy drops it back. And now here's Lizotte. The Golden Knights also over their 8th consecutive road game have scored at least 3. Wrist shot on from Roy, and Brossoit holds tight. So we'll step aside just past the halfway point of the game in Los Angeles, where the Golden Knights have a 4-goal lead.
Vegas came from the work of Nick Waugh, who continues to build on his offensive games. 4 goals in his last 9 games, and not just goals, beauties. Of course, there was the unreal shootout goal, and then last game against Tampa, he pulled another one. And Shea Theodore was asked about it, if he was surprised, if he knew that Nick Waugh had moves like that. And he said, well, yeah, we see it all the time in practice, but jokes that he made a joke with it that it didn't count until he pulled it off in a game. Now he has, so they expect to see that more often. And then tonight he's showing it's not just about the goals, he has the setup moves too, guys. So Nick Waugh, no sign of slowing down yet.
Yeah, and he's already surpassed actually his point total from last year. He had 15 points in 50 games last year, already up to 16. Yeah, it's an area the Golden Knights were hoping they could unlock more offense from Nick Waugh. And we've seen that especially lately.
I think it's part of the development of a player. And, for Nick Waugh, started back in the bubble, and he's continued to grow his game, more of a defensive-minded player when he starts, but has that offensive ability. Now you're starting to see it, and especially in the shootout. Steve Spott said his coaches, they practice that, and he's the guy that goes up.
Here's Carlson with a shot from the left side, and that missed the net. Marchessault looking, tried to feed to the Carlson, blocked though by Lemieux, and he'll flip it down the ice. Golden Knights with 5 different goal scorers in this game, leading at 5-1, and on an abbreviated power play now. Their 3rd of the game. Theodore drops it back. Smith to Marchessault into the King zone, and he'll leave it for Pacioretty. Little saucer pass to Carlson. Works his way down the wing and drops it back to Theodore. Around the Pacioretty for the one-timer, and a save Sparks. Smith keeps it moving to Marchessault. Now Carlson. Marchessault trying to feed it in front. Looking for Pacioretty, but Mikey Anderson clears it.
Oh, good read. Marchessault trying to fool everybody a little behind the back pass.
Nick Waugh on the final dozen seconds. Stevenson will drive on and a save Sparks. Doughty leads it off. Mikey Anderson high up the glass and out of play. And 5 seconds to go in the man advantage for Vegas.
One of the things I like about the power play is they set up this initial shot, but it's puck recovery. Off one chance, Smith does a good job first on the puck. Marchessault supports. They get reset up. And that's the, when the power play starts moving, it's not just one and done on the chance. Eventually a little play there as Marchessault's pass cut off, but the recovery off the initial chance allows them to maintain possession. That's when a power play is starting to feel more and more confident, and they're on pucks. Everything just happens that much quicker when things are clicking.
And Waugh will take this draw against Kopitar. Durzi snaps it around the boards all the way down. So the abbreviated power play for the Golden Knights comes to an end. Dylan Coughlin moving it off for Nick Hague. Here's Janmark to Waugh. His wrist shot missed. He looked to go on the glove side of Sparks. Janmark sends it down. Waugh had to jump over his stick. Durzi pressured by Stevenson, but able to dish it off. And the Kings on the move. Kempe at center. Snaps it cross ice. Stevenson got his stick in the passing lane and deflects it out of play. Well, Tom McClellan's team, of course, they knocked off the Golden Knights in the season opener, and then they proceeded to drop 6 in a row, ripped off 7 straight wins, lost 6 out of 7, trending in a better direction in the month of December, but obviously tonight, not what they're looking for so far.
No, certainly not. They were able to get on that roll. You mentioned that first game of the year looked like it was going to be a great start for the Kings, and Todd McClellan, what they were able to do against the Golden Knights, fell off, then went on a real run. And, it's kind of interesting. You look around the league, I wonder how much of that happens because of the uncertainty. Lineups change. Well, this is what every team has to deal with, what's happening right now league-wide.
Yeah, the Kings with 5 players and 2 assistant coaches in COVID protocol. The Golden Knights with 3 players and their head coach Pete DeBoer in the same category. The Kings were looking to go a season high 4 games above 500 tonight. But they have a ways to go in this one. Kicking off a 7-game homestand. They won't be on the road for a couple of weeks. They had a 7-game earlier this season in LA. They went 1-5-1 in the 7 straight on home ice. Lizotte trying to cut to the inside. Played nicely by McNabb, and back the other way comes Amadio. They'll roll up, dishing it off to Adam Brooks. And now Shea Theodore. Backhands it around the boards. Shots are 18-11 for Vegas. Lizotte around the boards. Kaliev with White Cloud pinching in on him.
Not play by Theodore, a little play just to dump it in. He looked for a play, nothing there. That's managing the puck, allowed them to get a change.
Battle for it along that far side. Don't see that much anymore. Just froze it up against the sideboards for a whistle. And now this from Knock the Injury Law.
Focus on the facts when picking a lawyer. Call Knock-Fee at 702-INJURED.
So you see McNabb coming down that side, the big hit he had on Kaliev a little earlier. This one, as Lizotte's coming, you see McNabb step up. Well, good stick. All of a sudden a loose puck there, and he's able to turn it. Quick transition the other way. A great defense leads to that quick attack offense.
You got to figure Lizotte paying attention. Saw what happened earlier tonight. Here's White Cloud. Long wrist shot blocked to the corner. And Waugh just took a high stick. Be a penalty here on Los Angeles. Delayed call. Kolasar works it up the wing. Puck touched by Arvidsson. So the Golden Knights will go to the power play. Nick Waugh took the stick up in the face.
It's going to be Turcotte who goes to the penalty box. There's clearly a high stick trying to lift the stick of Nick Waugh. He misses and catches him right up high. We're going to have a little discussion here.
We'll see if he was cut or not, right? Would it be a double minor?
Well, they should probably involve Nick Waugh if that's what they're looking at. Not sure what the discussion is about. Certainly it's a penalty.
We've got 3 of the 4 officials huddling up.
I'll take another look at the penalty.
Oh, you know what they're thinking? Was it carry a stick?
Yeah, they can take it. It was a carry a stick, but it was Turcotte's stick. Both were right there. Yeah, it's a 2-minute minor. Yeah. Was all right.
Yeah, they just wanted to huddle up to make sure they had that right, which they did.
Now it's Turcotte. 2 minutes for high sticking. Time of the penalty, 13:44.
Gary said, look, don't blame me.
Well, Golden Knights 2 for 3 on the power play in this game. And Steve Spott's asking, I think they're looking for 4 minutes.
But they're only going to get 2. Power play number 4 for the Golden Knights. They're 2 for 3 on the man advantage. Theodore straight away. Now Carlson to Smith. His shot on the save. Sparks. Rebound not cleared by Doughty. Theodore keeps it in. Pacioretty holding it into the corner. Marchessault out to Carlson. He lets it fly and a save. Sparks. And Lizotte clears it.
That made kind of a stick on the way to the net as Carlson let it go, but a couple of good quick plays by the Golden Knights set up 2 shots.
Riley Smith winding it up. Open the scoring in this game with a power play goal in the first. Pacioretty had it poked away and Theodore resets. Now Smith into the Kings' end. Lost it, but jammed the neutral ice. By Jared Anderson-Dolan. And Theodore with some time deep in his own territory. And he'll drop it back. The end mark. revving it up. Stevenson accelerating through center. And Waugh chips it to the corner. Now Stevenson with a goal and an assist in the period. Haig has it. Coughlin back to Haig. And he'll feed it for Janmark. Spins away towards the corner. Waugh behind the net. And Stevenson again. Coughlin straight away with a wrist shot. Saves Sparks. Rebound. Not cleared. Moore didn't get a lot on that clearing attempt. Allowed Coughlin to keep it in. Coughlin has it along the boards. Pass picked off though. Matt Roy with a high lob. Looking to spring Moore into the zone. Short-handed and he scores. Short-handed goals in back-to-back games for the Kings. Trevor Moore has made it a 5-2 game.
Well, puck decisions and a little backhand pass. It's going to be a turnover as Coughlin goes to put this. It goes right to the stick of Roy, and he makes a great play. Just a little airlift, puts it into the open area, allows his teammate Moore to use his speed to skate into that puck, and then Moore, a quick shot. He beats Brossoit. 5-hole as the Kings, the big short-handed goal. Look at Trevor Moore, picks up his third of the season.
Well, the Golden Knights, they allow a shorty for the 4th time this year. So the Kings, a little different story. They were down 2 in Washington late in the second in their last game. Blake Lizotte scored shorthanded, and that really kind of jump-started their comeback against the Capitals. They're down 4 tonight. Now they're down 3. And Trevor Moore, the native of Thousand Oaks, California, carrying a backhand, and Sparks with a big stop. Sparks lost his stick in the process. What a chance for Carrier. Carrier in behind the net, trying to stuff it out in front. And Iafallo clears it. He got crunched by Colasar. And now the puck back the other way. Check it. That was Turcotte that took that hit. 39, not 19 from Colasar. A couple more bodies go down along the near boards. It's Carlson and Elias Anderson.
They might both go. Or is it just Carlson? Oh, get a little more physical. Here's a look at the initial hit as Colasar finishes the body on Turcotte, and there's where Carlson and Anderson get tied up.
And Carlson's going to go to the box by himself. And the Kings to the power play when we come back.
Power plays William Carlson to the box. You can understand why he's upset. Here's the play. You see Anderson clearly throws his arm out. He makes the initial contact for interference. Sticks his left arm out. Carlson just wins the battle, but it'll be a power play for Los Angeles.
First minor penalty of the season for William Carlson. Wrist shot from the line from Doughty, deflected, and Brossoit kicks it away. Now Doughty again. Cross for Kopitar. Dishing it off for Arvidsson. Doughty swings it around for Adrian Kempe. Wrist shot missed wide left. Kicks around the boards and out to neutral ice. Kings are 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. And 1 for their last 22 overall. Kopitar dropping it back for Kempe. And his team leading 13th of the season earlier in the game. Kings trying to climb back in this and get it to a 2-goal deficit. Battle for it behind the Vegas net. Kempe, Stevenson, Arvidsson whips it back to Doughty. He'll make his way down a little further. Arvidsson snaps it back to the line. Kempe around for Kopitar. Adrian Kempe again looking. Arvidsson a one-timer, and that missed the net. Kempe straight away, walks in a couple of steps. Arvidsson again, feeds it across. May have been intended for Iafallo. Kopitar now with a drive, and Brossoit got a piece of that with a stick. 40 seconds on the power play for the Kings. Kopitar. Kempe holding out high. Kopitar again. Walks in a couple of steps. Feeding it to Iafallo. Back out high, it's Kempe. His wrist shot, save Brossoit. Rebound and a save again on Iafallo. And Brossoit covers it.
You look for your best penalty killer to be your goalie, and it is in this case Brossoit. Great job on this power play. First chance, Arvidsson shot. That one's going to go wide. And then they get set up. Brossoit gets a piece of the Kopitar one-timer, able to steer that, and then traffic in front. Great initial save, and then a rebound on a follow. Brossoit's best sequence of the game.
Laurent Brossoit, his 5th career appearance against the Kings, all of which have been here in Los Angeles. Kaliev's wrist shot. Brossoit got a piece of that as it deflected to the corner. Waugh with a steal on the near side, and the Golden Knights up ice short-handed. Waugh breaking down the wing, pulls up. He'll kill some time and dish it back nicely to Riley Smith. That'll do it for the penalty to William Karlsson. And the Golden Knights at full strength with a 5-2 lead. But an icing on Vegas with 1:17 to go in the period. And a draw back to the Golden Knights end of the rink. But with some big saves from Laurent Brossoit on that last penalty kill to maintain the 3-goal advantage.
Now that's what you need at that point in the game. Timely saves. Vegas was complete control. A little bit of life from that shorthanded goal by the Kings and Trevor Moore, but a big penalty kill by Vegas.
And Laurent Brossoit with some big stops in that sequence. So they got the loss against Tampa. The Golden Knights fell in that last game before the pause. Despite allowing a season low 19 shots, Andrei Vasilevsky was the difference for Tampa Bay. Lightning scored 4 on 19 on Brossoit that night. Roy with a wrist shot save. Brossoit through traffic. And Grundstrom got tied up as he tried to get to the rebound. Marchessault chips it out. Clock winding down to the final 45 seconds of the period. Waugh just missed Moore with a stretch pass. And an icing on the Kings. Face off back in their end of the rink.
Well, that chance for the Kings came from an offensive blue line just inside their turnover. And it leads to the Kings' possession, a little deflection. Brossoit without a stick makes a great right pad save. Good stick by Riley Smith coming back defensively as Grundstrom was bearing down looking for the rebound.
Now Lecision and Lemieux. I'll check it Anderson Dolan. He wins it. And Bjornfort will sweep it all the way down wide of Brossoit. And an icing on the Kings. 33 seconds to go in the period now. And Laurent Brossoit, his first time at the Golden Knights, starting back-to-back games. Robin Lehner injured. Logan Thompson up from the HSK, backing up Brossoit tonight.
Both injuries, Stone and Lehner are supposed to be day-to-day.
And Mark Stone, who scored 2 goals against Tampa and left the game, played less than 8 minutes.
That's a bad percentage.
Pete DeBoer saying the other day it was a tweak of the injury, the upper body injury that Stone missed significant time with earlier this year. Theodore dancing in, trying to turn Bjornfot. Takes it around the net. Feeds it back to McNabb and across the line. Stevenson lets it fly, and Sparks got a good look at that. He'll scoop it up with a face-off with 4 ticks to go in the period.
Oh, good job, Theodore, jumping in the rush. His ability to move up the ice so effortlessly, and a great little move that set that up. I think Stevenson, recognizing the clock's winding down, just took that feed from McNabb, got it towards the net.
Golden Knights have a little time here, certainly. 4 seconds to go and an offensive zone draw. They have Marchessault in that shooting hole. Stevenson will try to win it against Kopitar. No, he will not.
Pacioretty jumped the line.
So Marchessault will come in to take it. Trying to pull it perhaps to Theodore. Battle for possession off the draw, and one final shot on net turned away by Sparks. But the Golden Knights came into the period with a 3-1 lead, and they leave it up 5-2.
Yeah, real good start to that second. A couple of quick goals early on for the Golden Knights. Gave them up to Moore shorthanded, but Brossoit with some key saves on that last Kings power play. They carried a 3-goal lead here into the third.
Golden Knights had 12 shots. They have 23 through 2. The Kings were 13 for a 2-period total of 19 overall. A 5-2 lead for the Golden Knights through 2 in Los Angeles as we send it back to Darren.
Thank you very much. The 11th time in 33 games that the Vegas Golden Knights have hit the 5-goal mark. That's incredible as they are cruising to a lead right now against the LA Kings. But Darren Elliott says there's more to it than just scoring goals tonight. Credit for the lead goes to the guys on the defensive side. Ashley Weiss catches up with Nick Waugh, who hits a career highlight tonight. Calling it a drought buster. Several Vegas Golden Knights breaking through as the lead has been expanded after 40 minutes of play at Crypto.com Arena. Back in Vegas, Darren Millard in Studio 31, along with Darren Elliott. You look at it and go, boy, there's some soft goaltending. The goalie change for the LA Kings, maybe that's part of it. Vegas has scored some pretty goals tonight.
They have. They got to the right spots. Typically, when you go to the front of the net, they call them greasy goals because you have to really work hard to get there and stay there and fight for your space. That wasn't part of it. But when they got there, they made the most of it. And again, the LA Kings, they've been so giving here in the holiday season through 40 minutes of play defensively. They have afforded a ton of white ice. It's a white Christmas for the Vegas Golden Knights.
So talked about guys breaking out and Riley Smith, Chandler Stevenson on there, and Nick Waugh hits a career high for goals with his 7th of the year, standing by with Ashley Weiss.
Nick, 5 goals for your team through 2 periods. Multiple of the plays developed behind the Kings net. What's allowing you guys to get things started down low like that?
I think we've always been a really good team when we have our forecheck and we play our game. We're really hard to play against, and I think we've been able to do that and create some chances at the net there.
What's the impact of Laurent Brossoit on that penalty kill there?
Oh, that was huge. You could see on the last PK there, he did a lot of good saves there, so that's huge, and we knew he's always going to bail us out.
You have some cushion. How do you make sure this one doesn't get away from you here in the third?
I think you got to stay away from the box. We've been really good 5-on-5. We played our game, and we just got to keep going.
Thanks, Nick. Good luck.
Thank you.
As you can tell, it's still a hockey game, Nick Waugh, with the little abrasion on the cheek. What have you seen as far as Vegas putting themselves in great position to score?
Well, they got to the forecheck, and Nick just told Ashley, you know, on the forecheck, they've been good 5-on-5. This is a power play goal, top right. Riley Smith. This sets up how this entire 40 minutes has gone. Look at how wide open he is. I mean, in this league, are you kidding me? Even if you're fronting a guy as a defenseman.
Drew Doughty was pointing over.
Yeah, but and Mikey Anderson is just lost in coverage, and they made him pay. Great pass. Then you have one ringing off the post. 4 guys turn away. Shane talked about that during the original call. Off the point, slot. 4 guys just standing there.
Marchessault follows up, though.
He follows up with all that white ice, and then Nick Waugh to Stevenson. Look at nobody within a stick length of him. Great plays, don't get me wrong, but you'd not usually afford it. And here, how about this one? Janmark all by himself for a deflection. So, yes, they did a great job of exploiting the white ice given to them. You won't see that much ice very often in front of a goaltender in the National Hockey League. Or those players doing that won't be in the National Hockey League very long.
But on the top of the crease, the total distance isn't that great, which is a good sign for making sure that you're heading to that area.
Absolutely.
Laurent Brossoit has still had an impact on this game. We'll delve into that as we continue here in the second intermission, where the Vegas Golden Knights aiming for a 1-1 record against the LA Kings this year. Sole possession of top spot in the Pacific Division and in the Western Conference. 3 goals in the first, 2 more in the second, added up, and they have a nice little edge protected by Laurent Brossoit. Goalie stats brought to you by Adam Kuttner. You know, Brossoit made that timely save in that crazy segment in the first period and then followed it up with a strong end to the second.
It's what you have to do in a game like this that doesn't really have a lot of what you would consider NHL flow. You have to be ready. And he certainly was. You heard Nick Waugh talking about the saves he made in this penalty kill in particular. That's a beautiful sequence right there. He had 4 saves. And again, sometimes you have to make the saves, enough saves to win. but timeliness in terms of game momentum, that was really what that was there. Because if you allow the Kings to go to the locker room just down 2 and scoring back-to-back goals, haven't scored on Garrett Sparks yet, who knows, right? And they come out, they kick one in, and all of a sudden it's a 1-goal game. Did his job so far through 40 in great fashion.
We talked about coming into this game and there being mystery. I'm really curious. Maybe we'll revisit some of your keys to the game, because what you talked about there and the intangibles about this game, we've really seen the Vegas Golden Knights deliver on through the first 2 periods. As we take a break and continue to discuss a very impressive performance by Matthias Janmark and company for the Vegas Golden Knights.
There's so much new.
Golden Knights like the ring of that, don't they? 5-2 in the first hockey game under the new naming rights that were passed over from the Staples Center over the course of the weekend in Los Angeles. Vegas with a impressive performance so far, although the shots on goal pretty even. Tells you the impact of Laurent Brossoit so far tonight. Riley Smith snaps an extended drought. Matthias Janmark, Chandler Stevenson, all finding the board some confidence there. But coming off the holiday break, where you haven't played in 6 days, it's been really impressive. Your keys to the night was detail.
Yeah, the simple details we saw in that breakdown, that all of a sudden you were seeing lots of good passes, right? You were seeing lots of tape-to-tape plays in all 3 zones. And so the team really has delivered on that. And so, too, have the guys looking in the mirror and saying, I got to bring my best game. And as you mentioned, some guys getting off the schneid a little bit, hadn't scored in a while, doing that tonight, and that's what was needed.
Third period's not a throwaway, though.
No, it is not. Absolutely not.
Looking forward to it. Dave Gaucher, Shane Noddy, Ashley Weiss back from Los Angeles next. We will return to talk to you next after the game for the postgame show.
This holiday, Verizon.
And those are your woo moments of the night. Brought to you by Finley Chevrolet. The Golden Knights have opened up a 5-2 lead as we get set for the third period in Los Angeles. Shane, we talk a lot about the power play when it's not going well. We should talk about it when it is going well, and they've had the best power play in the league this month.
Oh, they really have. It's just been really clicking on all angles here in the month of December, and a lot of it, when you look at it, it starts with puck possession. Puck movement is a lot quicker, and off faceoffs, great job. Pacioretty helps out. It's not a clean win, but they get possession and then quick puck movement, a quick strike as Marchessault finds Smith wide open in front. And Theodore over to the side, Marchessault to the back of the net. 2 for 4 in the night. You can see 12 power play goals in the month of December. The other one, great play by Nick Wall. Little stick left, steals the puck, and finds Stevenson wide open in front. And there's a look at what they've been able to do with the man advantage. Continue to stay red hot on the power play.
Yeah, 2 for 4 tonight, 9 power play shots. We'll take a look at our drive to the finish. Brought to you by Subaru of Las Vegas.
Well, it's about playing the right way here in the third, playing on their toes, play ahead. Stick to their game. You don't want to sit back here and let the clock wind down. You still got, well, 19:50 to go.
Yeah, the Golden Knights among the best teams in the league when leading after 2 periods. They're 13-0 this year. White Cloud in his own end. Under a little bit of pressure, Moore behind the net, feeds it back door, and Arvidsson's shot got blocked. Now Roy feeds it in a little further. Arvidsson carries it up. He'll pull up and dish it off to Moore. Rotates it down to Arvidsson behind the net, trying to shake loose from White Cloud. Now Turcotte one-hands it through the crease. Played out of danger by Chandler Stevenson. There's Turcotte up top. Wrist shot on a save made by Brossoit. Wolanin will send it around. Christian Wolanin, the son of Craig Wolanin, a Stanley Cup winner during his lengthy NHL career. 13 years, won the Cup with the Colorado Avalanche back in 1996. Kopitar. And a play towards Mikey Anderson. And now here is Adrian Kempe. Back out to the line, Doughty shot, and a save Brossoit. He'll squeeze tight on a 55-footer from Drew Doughty.
A little push here from the Kings early in this third, and good positioning by Chandler Stevenson. Turcotte looking for more right on the back door. Stevenson in perfect position. Doesn't chase behind the net. It will intercept that pass just across the crease.
Offensive zone draw for the Kings. Doughty and a feed it down the middle. Here's Smith. He'll jam it up to the blue line. Mikey Anderson keeps it in. Alex Iafallo on a roll off of Braden McNabb. Rotates it down. Kempke to the corner. They'll swing it down to Kopitar. A little further, it's Iafallo. Beats it out in front. Kopitar tips it wide to the corner. Now the Golden Knights are going to move it the other way. Smith's pass made it through to Marchessault. Drops it to Carlson. His shot got blocked and knocked the stick out of the hand. Down low, Marchessault scores on a bang-bang play. Marchessault jams it in. His second of the night. And the Golden Knights with a 6-2 lead.
Well, Drew Doughty, not often you see this from him. He puts that right onto the stick of Marchessault from behind the net. A good read by Marchessault. Little pressure, a little cross, him and Carlson, and the puck's going to come behind the net. And Marchessault looks like he's going to chase, but puts his stick position. And Doughty tries to throw it out. It goes tape to tape, and Marchessault beats Sparks, his second of the game. And the Golden Knights regain that 4-goal lead.
Yeah, as you say, Shane, you don't see that often from Drew Doughty, but put it right on the tape of Jonathan Marchessault. And at 1:55 of the third, the Golden Knights with a 6-pack of goals in Los Angeles, and Jonathan Marchessault with 2 of them. Marchessault up to 16 goals on the year. He had 18 all of last season. Here's Coghlan. He'll backhand it out of the reach of Carrier, and this will be an icing on the Golden Knights and a face-off back in the Vegas zone.
Well, Jonathan Marchessault creeping closer to that 20-goal mark for him. Done it 6 times. His highest was not long ago. He just continues to put up the numbers. You mentioned 18 goals last year. He had 22 the year before, and certainly on pace to pass both those.
But he's been very consistent this year. Even to look back at last season, Shane, didn't go more than 3 games in a row without a point. Hasn't gone more than 2 in a row without a point in nearly 2 months. And he and his team have put up 6 in LA. Jersey with a long drive. That's deflected wide. Golden Knights lost in this building on the 14th of October, 6-2. They're up 6-2 tonight in the first meeting between the teams since. Puck loose to the corner. Coghlan in a battle with Kaliev. Now Lemieux drops it. Kaliev a backhand, missed it. Tried to go high glove. Lemieux looking to work his way free. It's not the way the Kings wanted to start a 7-game homestand. Down 6-2. Icing on Vegas. Say the Golden Knights, and they've had a lot of different players contribute to what's been a terrific month for them. See Jonathan Marchessault joining that parade of multiple goal games this month, led, of course, by Max Pacioretty.
Yeah, Pacioretty just was on fire initially, been able to spread it around. A couple of defensemen, and Whitecloud and Theodore have had their 2-goal games. Whitecloud's had a pair of them this season.
The Golden Knights missing key people in their lineup again. Mark Stone injured, Robin Lehner injured, Alex Pietrangelo. COVID protocol, along with Evgeny Dodonov and Brett Howden. And, of course, their head coach, Pete DeBoer. Well, with a 4-goal lead in L.A. Final road game of 2021 for the Golden Knights. They'll open up a 5-game swing of the Fortress Friday at noon against Anaheim. New Year's Eve afternoon. Whitecloud trying to feed it in, got blocked down. Alamadio. And Whitecloud able to feed it off for Hutton. Pass was in the skates of Amadio. Actually a 6-gamer for the Golden Knights at T-Mobile starting on Friday. Well, Lannon will feed it back across for Doughty. Now Turcotte throws it in deep. Hutton back to get it. Up ahead to Amadio. Pressured by Mikey Anderson. Arvidsson curling out top. Long drive from Elias Anderson. Kicked out by Brossois. Doughty stripped to the puck by Stevenson. Able to poke it up but not out. Mikey Anderson keeps it in. 6 goals on 24 shots for the Golden Knights, including 3 on 3 consecutive shots in the first period. If you're just joining us, these teams exploded for 4 goals total in a span of 1:16 in the opening frame, 3 of which came from Vegas. Mikey Anderson has it out top. He'll feed it to the open corner to Trevor Moore. Bounce off the end boards to Ben Hutton. And now Janmark, a little feed to Pacioretty. And Stevenson, but offside, as Pacioretty couldn't gain the line. Just over 5 minutes gone in the period. 6-2 Vegas. Face-off coming in the neutral zone, and now this from Knock the Injury Law.
Focus on the facts when picking a lawyer. Call Knock Fee at 702-INJURED.
Face-off here just outside the Kings line.
Let's look at Chandler Stevenson. He continues to stay on that point-a-game pace. So one of the players that's been healthy for the Golden Knights throughout. Picks up his 10th of the year in this one.
Bjornfoot sends it in deep. Brossois moving it around the wall. And now Durzi keeps it moving. Puck to the far side. McNabb and Iafallo racing after it. Kopitar steps in to get it. Durzi out of the line. And across to Bjornfoot. Fanned on the pass down the wall, but it made it to Kempe. Now Kopitar leaves it off. Iafallo puts it off the outside of the net. And Max Pacioretty will pick it up. Iafallo in the neutral zone. And he'll feed it towards the net. Missed wide right. Durzi across. Iafallo with a wrist shot, and he scores. Alex Iafallo might have been offside. We'll see if the Golden Knights take a look at this. If it counts, it'll be Iafallo's 10th of the year.
Yeah, we're right over the blue line. That looked like the play came offside before this goal was scored. We'll see if there's a challenge. You can see Steve Spott, Ryan Craig talking right now as everybody's looking. It was Iafallo who may have tried to keep it in. This puck's gonna come out right there. I'm not sure. That is close. Looks like there won't. Not sure if there'll be a challenge. Oh, that's tough to call. He may have saved it, and he's the one that ends up scoring the goal. No challenge, and a good one is the Kings get their 3rd of the night, a 6-3 hockey game.
That was really close. The 2 looks we had was pretty difficult to tell. So Alex Iafallo picks up his 10th and his first in 9 games to make it 6-3. Lemieux trying to feed it down to Lizotte. And now Kaliev. He'll rotate it down. Taken away by Haig. A white cloud up the boards. Went off of Wolanin, off to Smith. And he'll feed it to center. Here's Marchessault with Haig and Carlson coming. Marchessault walking in. Now to Carlson! And he put it over the net. They have caught the shoulder of Sparks. Well, Marchessault with 2 tonight. Pretty good chance for the hat trick, but dished it to Carlson, who had a great opportunity.
Right, that may have caught the left shoulder of Sparks. A big save.
Back to center is Kolesar. And a feed it into the slot, tapped out of the zone by Doughty. And Theodore drives it in. Went right off the corner boards. Doughty sweeps it away. Grundstrom the other way. Broken up by Carrier. And an offside on the Kings. So 7 minutes gone in the 3rd period. And the Kings make things a little bit closer. Alex Iafallo with number 10. From downtown Los Angeles tonight. And the Golden Knights, who have led this game throughout, are up 6-3 in the 3rd period. You mentioned earlier, Shane, quietly, Alex, you look at the other names on that list. have done the most damage against the Golden Knights. Alex Iafallo, number 2, behind Andrei Kopitar.
Yeah, he kind of sneaks on that list and added to it here with the last goal of the game, his 10th of the season.
Moore in the corner. And to work his way loose. Haig and Lecision. Turcotte works it free. Thursday out of the line. Long wrist shot, blocked in the slot. And now Amadio. He'll turn it the other way for Vegas. Cross for Brooks towards the net. His shot on a save. Sparks. Very good chance for Adam Brooks back in the lineup tonight for the first time in 7 games with the opportunity.
Oh, good pass by Amadio. Gets moving head up, and Brooks able to get a step on Dursey on the other side. He looks to go short side, and Sparks with the saves. A couple of good saves now by Sparks. He had the one earlier on Carlson on a quick 3-on-1 break, and this one on Adam Brooks.
Adam Brooks reinserted into the lineup tonight. Off this face-off, Kings control it. And Iafallo on the wing will feed it up ahead. Kempe spun off the play by Theodore. And Kopitar dishing it back to Doughty. Now Mikey Anderson. Kempe at center. Iafallo banks it in deep. It'll be an offside on the Kings. Kopitar didn't want to play it. They will clear everyone out of the zone. Theodore with a lead pass. Stevenson had a little trouble handling that. Able to feed it now, though. Pacioretty down the wall. Pass into the middle, blocked by Doughty. Penalty here on the Golden Knights. It's going to be a slash. And Vegas shorthanded. Chandler Stevenson to the box.
Well, Stevenson made a great play to keep that, hold the puck, keep an onside play, and it was after that.
Holding the stick.
He was holding the stick. He got tangled up on the wall right by the Kings bench. Oh, big penalty kill upcoming here for the Golden Knights. There's still lots of time left. Kings, Iafallo making it a little closer. Here's a look at the play. Kempe. I think it's Stevenson. Not much to argue there. That's pretty much the definition of the call.
Well, as you said, Shane, this important kill here for Vegas. Do not want to make this any dicier than it needs to be. A 3-goal lead here in the third, but shorthanded for the 4th time. Kings are 0 for 3 on the man advantage. And good work by Carlson to win the battle on the boards and bank it out. And Doughty swings it around for Kempe. 11:25 to go in the third. Dave Gosher, Shane Nardi, Ashley Weiss with you from Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. First game for the Kings since the name change of this building. First game total is Christmas Day. The LA Lakers lost here to the Brooklyn Nets. Kopitar straight away. Kempe in the circle. Drifting to the boards. Arvidsson. Kempe again. Out top, it's Kopitar. Now Kempe holds. Kopitar straight away with a wrist shot. Blocked. And Doughty dishing it off. Kopitar, his shot. Blocked again. Loose puck. Not cleared. Kempe. That's blocked high to the corner by McNabb. Braden McNabb came into the night 2nd in the league in blocks. Battle for it along the far wall. And Arvidsson dishing it. Doughty couldn't quite keep it in. He'll bring it back to the blue line, but that's an offside. And a face-off outside the Vegas end.
Well, Braden McNabb does such a good job getting in the shot lane on that one as it's trying to get through. Whitecloud had a one earlier, but there's a couple of big blocks from McNabb. Fronting that puck, kind of turns his skates. That presents a bigger area. You said 2nd in the league. Here's a look. Ferraro leading the way, and McNabb going to try and close that gap. He's certainly been valuable here for the Golden Knights. His ability, how good he is defensively. Such a smart defender, great defensive stick, and then physical and the willingness to block shots.
Inside the final 20 seconds of the Kings power play. Elias Anderson around the wall. Whitecloud with an easy clear as he fires it all the way down the ice. And here is Dursey to move it. Up ahead to Grunstrom. Haig back to get it. Along with White Cloud. Haig a little short feed to Janmark. Stevenson out of the box. Plays it to Waugh, and the Golden Knights looking to break. Waugh and Stevenson crisscross. Waugh broken up in the slot. And Wolanin back on it. Now Moore moves it. Lizotte couldn't quite handle the pass. Back the other way come the Golden Knights. Theodore had a ricochet off of him. Stevenson pushes into the zone as he gets ridden out of the play by Moore. Matt Roy, pressured by Max Pacioretty. Toby Bjornfoot and Blake Lizotte sends it in. McNabb and Bjornfoot to the corner. Puck loose on the boards and cleared back to the Kings' end. No icing here, and Matt Roy watched by Jonathan Marchessault. Marchessault with 2 goals for Vegas tonight. The others from Riley Smith, Keegan Colasar, Chandler Stevenson, and Matthias Janmark. Going towards the net was Lemieux. Good work by Carrier to get a piece of him. Lecision on the wall. A little short feed to Hutton. Haig gets his feet moving, and he'll move it up ahead. It was in the skates of Lecision. Mikey Anderson cross ice. Kaliev pulls up, feeds it towards the net. Tip and a save made by Brossois. On the redirection by Turcotte. And Mikey Anderson with some time and space deep in his own end. Now Doughty starts it out. Maneuvering his way through. Drew Doughty in his 14th year with the Kings at 31 years old. Breaks up Stevenson along the far side. Puck went by McNabb. Arvidsson looking to break. Kings looking to get numbers up the ice. Arvidsson centered it. And Kaliev couldn't reach it. Good work hustling back. Janmark on the back check.
Now, it's been a couple of good back checks earlier. We saw Carrier. This time Janmark, great job getting back. Good body position, inside position. Doesn't allow that pass to get through.
Carlson in deep. Shovels it back. Hutton walks it to the middle. His wrist shot deflected wide to the corner. And the puck back to neutral ice. Shots are 26-25 for the Golden Knights. They chased Jonathan Quick earlier in this game. Gave up 5 goals on 15 shots. Didn't have a lot of help in front of them. Golden Knights, majority of their goals tonight, players just wide open. Smith at center, charging in down the wing, sidesteps Lemieux, curls to the boards. They'll feed it a little bit further, taken away by Roy. It pinballs to Lizotte. And now Wolanin and Blake Lizotte will start it out. Arthur Kaliev backhands it in as he'll head off for a change. Jay Theodore back on it. Marchessault on the wing. Feeds it in, taken away by Dursey. Up ahead, Grunstrom has Anderson Dolan with him on the rush. Anderson Dolan, not Elias Anderson. Marchessault on the back check with a body on him.
Well, now Marchessault gets in the mix with a good back check.
Colasar shovels it in. John Dursey back to play it. In behind the net, Waugh. Now Carrier looking to send it to White Cloud. Colasar to the corner. Haig a long wrist shot, save made by Sparks. Rebound, Waugh fighting for it. Cuts back the other way, dishing it off to Carrier. Watched by Anderson Dolan. Haig a long drive, missed the net. Clock approaching, 6 minutes to go in the third. It's 6-3 Vegas. Carrier feeds it back. Haig tried to pull it. And it hopped off his stick. Right back they come. Everyone gets onside. Colasar. They're moving around the wall, and Haig had to jump over his stick. They'll have to hustle back. Here comes Turcotte. White Cloud comes over to angle him. Turcotte leaves it off for Arvidsson, and that shot blocked away. White Cloud hit the deck to get a piece of it. Brooks back for Vegas. Fires it around the boards, but the only person there was Arvidsson. Moore. Squeezed off by McNabb. And now Brooks will move it to Lecision. Amadio through center. 3-on-3 they come, but an offside on Vegas. 5:16 to go in the third in LA tonight. Zach White Cloud, a nice play defensively to keep his team up 3. Summary from Los Angeles, where the Golden Knights have led this game throughout. Up 6-3 in this one. Jonathan Marchessault with a 2-goal game, the 18th of his career, the 3rd of this season. The Golden Knights power play hot once again. And the Golden Knights with contributions up and down the lineup. They've led this game for the most part, and Steve Spott, the acting head coach here for Pete DeBoer, and he and his team just over 5 minutes away from putting this one on the bank. Wrist shot deflected wide of the net off the stick of Kempe. Golden Knights' high watermark this year for goals in a game is 7. They had 7 against Vancouver and then 7 in Arizona. The 7-1 win against the Coyotes, that started this win streak on the road of 5 in a row. And if they can get to 6 here tonight, it'll be a new team mark. Here's Janmark down the wing, dropping it off to Pacioretty. He'll chip it in around the net. Mikey Anderson the other way for Andrei Kopitar. And look out, they get deflected right into the Vegas bench with 4:36 to go, and the Golden Knights up by 3. We'll take a look at the Golden Knights' upcoming schedule, brought to you by City National Bank. We'll say goodbye to 2021. New Year's Eve afternoon, the Anaheim Ducks in town, an 11:30 a.m. pregame and a high noon face-off right here on AT&T Sportsnet.
Well, coaching staff showing how quick they are. You got to be alive on the bench. That last puck came very closer to the defensive side, and assistant coach Ryan McGill.
He's pretty nimble back there.
Yeah, still got the quickness.
Not a problem. Up ice come the Golden Knights. Carlson feeds it in front. Now Marchessault along the wall. Pass got blocked away by Wolanin, and Kaliev clears it. Haig to the red line, winds it in. Wolanin will bank it for Roy. Now Anderson Dolan in the middle for Grunstrom. He'll spin and shoot it in deep. St. Theodore back to get it. Whitecloud plays it up ahead for Carlson. A backhand feed for Smith. Carlson at center. And he'll steer it in from long range. Anderson Dolan starts it out. Grunstrom cut off by Nick Waugh. Now Kolasar into the corner. Bump down along the right wing side. And back into the neutral zone. Here's Carrier. Driving wide. And Sparks will cover. They'll hold it. Getting late in LA, where the Golden Knights are up by 3. Yeah, Darren, thanks so much. Yeah, 6-2 for the Kings that night. One of the more lopsided losses, albeit early in the season, the Golden Knights have had this year. Weren't close that night. Different story for Vegas in this game. Up 6-3 as we approach the final 3 minutes. Golden Knights scored 3 goals on 3 consecutive shots in the first period. 2 goals on their first 2 shots of the second. And then they scored on their first shot of the third period. That's accounted for the 6 goals in this game. They've been quick strikes. Puck loose on the wall for Moore. Pressured by Amadio. Theodore backhands it in high and deep. Now back at the line. Here is McNabb. Wrist shot towards the net. Deflected wide. Amadio puts it off the outside of the net. And back along the near side boards. Brooks feeds it across to McNabb. Out high Brooks looking. He'll roll back to the blue line. Long wrist shot deflected high. And out of play with 2:20 to go now in the third period. I mentioned, Shane, the Golden Knights have had contributions up and down the lineup, and also from some players that it had been a while for them in the goal scoring department.
And I think it's important for them to get going, and could have asked for a better group of them. Said Chandler Stevenson has had such a terrific year. He's got a goal and an assist tonight, but it had been 8 games for him, 10 for Smith, Janmark, and there's Kolasar, as they're all able to break free tonight with goals.
And the Golden Knights will have 1 more game to go, and we mentioned against the Anaheim Ducks. Coming up on New Year's Eve afternoon. Those 2 teams have had a couple of entertaining games this year. Golden Knights won 5-4 in a shootout at T-Mobile, and began the month of December. One of the few blemishes this month with a 6-5 loss in Anaheim. Trevor Zegras of the Ducks entering COVID protocol today. Golden Knights offside with 1:50 left. So we'll take a peek, Shane, at the Pacific Division standings. And the Golden Knights are 1:50 away from taking over sole possession of first in the division, also sole possession of first place in the West. But a Ducks team that's pretty surprising and had a good amount of success so far this year.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't have thought that coming in, but Anaheim's done a real nice job. And not only that, you look at the games in hand other teams are getting. It's so important for the Golden Knights to grab hold, bank those points, bank those wins right now.
Yeah, the Golden Knights, with their 33rd game tonight, they played more games than any team in the league. It remains to be seen. They'll have a couple of makeup games. Hopefully it's not more than that. As White Cloud will feed it up ahead, and Amadio banks it out. Was the NFL today making the announcement that players that test positive for COVID but are asymptomatic, they can return after 5 days of being in isolation. The NBA's down to 6 now. See if the NHL decides to kind of alter their policy. Milan on a drive on and a save made by Laurent Brossoit as we hit the final minute. White Cloud flips it out. And now Milan inside his own end. Anderson Dolan scales it in around the wall. For the Golden Knights in their last 6 road games, they've outscored their opponents 29-13. Started with that 7-1 rout in Arizona. Swept all 4 games out east. And on their way to a win in LA tonight. McNabb and Kaliev. Colasar in there too with Lizotte. Lemieux's wrister blocked away to the boys. Jersey at the point. And now Lizotte. Squeezed out of the play by Carrier. Carrier able to work it loose. Lemieux comes in to take it away from him. The puck went over the glass. 4 seconds to go now in this game.
Well, there's been some real good back checks by the Golden Knights. Support from the forwards coming back into the players. Nice job as Carrier hustling back. This time is Janmark. Real good position on Kaliev as he doesn't let that pass connect. Marchessault back. And then Zach Whitecloud, nice little defensive dive to block that shot. Janmark, another good job coming back on Lemieux. So some good support defensively from the forwards.
Off this face-off, that will do it. And the Golden Knights with their 6th straight win on the road. That's a new team record. And they knock off the Kings tonight, 6-3 the final. They take over sole possession of first place in the Pacific and also in the Western Conference.
Oh, big win here for the Golden Knights. Continue to have road success. Good job, Brossoit made some timely saves. I said they scored in bursts, as you mentioned. Not exciting there in the first, but they got the offense they needed. They're able to step up defensively, and special teams a factor. The power play comes through, as does the penalty kill in this game for Vegas.
Yeah, 2 more power play goals for the Golden Knights in this game. They have put up a dozen in the month of December. Our game changer of the night, brought to you by Comprehensive Cancer Centers.
Now, Jonathan Marchessault, he opened up with a great feed on the first goal of Smith.